What is going on, guys? Ruhpid here, and today I have 8 different pro CDL player class setups so you can get yourself right for MW3 and all the different tournaments you're going to be playing. If you want more videos like this, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to Torn. First up on the list is a BZ. Now I have 2 guns from a BZ here, the Rival 9 and an MTZ class setup. This will be the only MTZ setup in the video, so if you like the MTZ, make sure to look at this one. Now I do want to say a lot of pros are still testing out different attachments, so these may not be their final setups, but these are the most updated loadouts I could find. So with the BZ, we have the Rival C clear shot barrel, the Purifier muzzle, the DR6 hand stop. This is what's different from his compared to a lot of other guys, is this underbarrel right here. The Rival Vice Assault grip and the MTZ Marauder stock. As you can see, this thing shoots pretty freaking straight. Close to mid-range, you are not going to die with this gun. Long range, it does get a little bit shaky with recoil, but it is an SMG. You got to remember that. But look at that. Now let's take a look at a BZ's MTZ setup. Starting off with the barrel, the MTZ Clinch Pro barrel. The T4LR Saber compensator muzzle. You'll see this on a lot of class setups today because it has insane horizontal recoil control. The MK3 reflector, the MTZ Marauder stock, and the Rival Ace grip are the last attachments on this. You don't see many pros using this gun, but this is the next option if you don't really like the MCW. And honestly, it has some initial recoil, but after that initial recoil, it does shoot pretty straight. So if you don't like the MCW, you can always try the MTZ. Moving on to a BZ's teammate, let's look at Sim's class setup, his MCW setup. With a lot of these setups, they're going to be very similar except for the underbarrels and the muzzles. Some guys prefer different stuff, and I guess with the optics as well. But from left to right, we have the T5LR billeted brake, the 16.5-inch Cyclone long barrel, the Phantom 5 hand stop underbarrel, the MK3 reflector. You see this on a lot of guns. Some people run the slate reflector. It's really preference with this. And then the stock is the RB Regal heavy stock. And this thing shoots so straight. Like, there is no other AR to use than this. Like, that MTZ, you cannot beat this long range right there. I did not move my joystick at all. Moving on to another MCW setup. This is Scrap. Toronto Ultra Scrappy. He tries to keep his class setups a little hidden. He doesn't post them, but I managed to find a little part in his stream where he exposed it. So first glance, very similar to Sim's setup. Billeted brake, T5LR muzzle, 16.5-inch long barrel, MK3 reflector, and RB heavy stock are all the same thing. The only difference here is the underbarrel, which is the FTAC SP10 angled grip. Let's see if we can notice any difference here. Honestly, this might have a little bit less recoil. There is a tiny difference. You're just gonna have to try these out for yourself and see which one you like better. All right, let's go to some SMGs. This is Envoy's Rival 9 and Striker 9 class setup. Similar to the MCW and the MTZ, you don't see a lot of people using any other subs away from the Rival 9. But Envoy does have a Striker 9 class setup that I saw. But let's start off with the Rival 9. Now, compared to a BZ's, this is quite a bit different. We have the Rival C clear shot barrel, which is the same, the MTZ Marauder stock, and the Rival Vice Assault grip, which are all three the same. And for those three, those are pretty much as stable with the Rival 9. It's the underbarrel and muzzle that a lot of people are switching stuff around. So for Envoy, he runs the Chimera Rhine 03 vertical grip. And honestly, he's the only person I've seen run this grip, as well as the Spiral V 3.5 flash hider. When it comes down to a lot of these attachments, you're just gonna have to feel them for yourself because there's such tiny differences, it's hard to really explain. This one does seem to have a bit more recoil than the last Rival 9, but even then, it's pretty easy to control this recoil. It's not like gonna affect your shot too much if you're able to control the recoil. Well, let's go to the Striker 9. This is the only Striker 9 class setup in the video. So we have the L4R flash hider, the X10 Phantom 5 hand stopped grip, or underbarrel, not the grip, sorry, the Seiken ZX grip, the FSS tactical stock, and that's it. 4 attachments. You could try out these different barrels to see if you like any, if you do decide to run this. And honestly, this iron sight is not very good, so you may even want to run like a slate reflector optic on or something. And you know, this isn't very bad in the firing range, but you really can't tell how good a gun is till you take it to a real match. I think there's just a clear difference between this and the Rival 9 of which is better to use. And that's why you see all the pros using the Rival 9, but this is an alternative to that. All right, let's go to the King's class setup. Scump the King. He's retired, but he's still been playing 8s, and I saw his class setup, and I'm going to show you what it is. So like everybody else, he runs the MCW, and it's not much of a difference between some of these other people. So our 3 staples: the 16.5-inch barrel, the MK3 reflector, the RB Regal heavy stock. Scump runs the RB Rapid Strike grip and does not run an underbarrel. We do see some people run an underbarrel with their MCW. Scump does not. And lastly, on the muzzle, the T4RL Saber compensator. This one does have more recoil, like vertical recoil than the other MCWs. Especially on this long range buy, I can tell it goes up way quicker than the others. And Scump maybe has even updated his class setup by the time you see this video. Okay, we've still got 3 more class setups. I'm gonna go through this one really quick. This is another MCW. This is Sib from the New York Subliners. Sib actually has quite a few things different from Scump's and the rest of people, so let's look at that. This is the L4R Flash Hider. The only pro I've seen use this muzzle. The other ones all use the other muzzles. The 16.5-inch barrel, yep. The slate reflector instead of the MK3, and the RB Regal heavy stock we see a lot. But another interesting thing is the underbarrel, the XRK Edge BW hand stop underbarrel. And this is the only class setup I've seen with this one so far. Compared to Scump's that we just did, there is way less vertical recoil. Like, oh my, look at that. You can definitely tell the difference. Let's go to our last SMG class setup of the day, Shotzi's Rival 9. I feel like a lot of people are gonna want to see this one, and rightfully so. Shotzi's one of the best subs, if not the best subs machine gun player in the game. And I already know he's gonna make a bunch of plays with this Rival 9 in this next Call of Duty. So let's take a look at this class setup. The Purifier muzzle brake. You see this on a lot of Rival 9s. The Rival C clear shot barrel, MTZ Marauder stock, Rival Vice assault grip, and the X10 Phantom 5 hand stop. The Rival 9, I feel like the attachments don't switch up as much as people do on the MCW. The only things people are switching up on this Rival 9 is this muzzle and sometimes this underbarrel, but it's normally just the muzzle, that's it. I like Shotzi's class setup. It's very similar to a BZ and Envoys in this video, so it's really just preference. You're just gonna have to try these all for yourself, like I've said. And lastly, the last class setup of the video today, we have Tim, who's not currently in the CDL. I mean, I think he should be in the CDL, but he's probably going to be one of the best challengers teams this year. So let's take a look at the setup he's running. What I've noticed with a lot of these class setups is some of them are different, but they're pretty much just mix and matching the same attachments on different guns or on different setups. So the 16.5-inch barrel, it seems like if you're running the MCW, you're running this barrel. Same with the RB Regal heavy stock and the MK3 reflector. But at the muzzle over here, we have the T5 1R built-in brake. And I think this is the only setup with this muzzle. So we're gonna see how that changes the gun. And the X10 Phantom 5 hand stop. As we know, Sib just had this XRK instead of this X10 grip. So let's just see how they feel. Honestly, this might be the best one of the video. I don't know, this thing feels really good recoil wise. Nonetheless, you get the point I am trying to make. Here are 8 different pro class setups. If you want to see more of these in the future when new changes come out and new stuff comes out, drop a like and subscribe to Torn. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.